Napoli Nation, what you doing, man? All right, we're here at episode 8. And the first thing I want to say before I even get going with the first segment of the episode for this week is I apologize for our screw up last week. We missed one of the segments of the episode in previewing the Empoli match. But we're going to go over the Empoli match now as a review, which was another clean sheet, Mario, and another dominant game overall. I do think that there was some things that Spalletti can take away from this match to work on during training, just to keep them focused for the rest of the season. What did you take away from this match, just in general?
Just Napoli being Napoli. Really, we displayed a great performance. I understand that we also had a lot of mistakes, but in the end, we could have had about 5 or 6 goals if you really think about it. The Maiduguri red card, this is football. It happens. Blatant mistake by Maiduguri though. I don't know what's going through his head. Against his ex team, he probably had some kind of thoughts going through his head when he did that. You can honestly tell he regretted it right after though. He didn't even challenge the red card. He just walked right off of the pitch. But other than that, we had a few costly mistakes in the midfield. Lozano looked great. Lobotka looked great. Anguissa was iffy the first half. Cavada, phenomenal. Like the amount of passes I was awed by was crazy. He never lacks like anything, man. He's phenomenal. Osimhen putting pressure at the top could have had himself a freaking hat trick, maybe even four if you think about it. I wish he was more clinical this game. We talked about him being a little more clinical last game as well. It's all right, though. He still gets a goal, does the job. We win 2-0, another clean sheet. Defense, though, I'm not going to give them man of the match. We're going to go into that obviously after. But, man, they were stout. Meta didn't have to do Scheisse all game. He was just chilling back there. He had one block from, like, way out long range, caught him off guard. But other than that, man, we really did have a good game.
I think it was a good game overall, but like I was saying at the beginning, there are some things that I think, which is this is a positive, really, that Spalletti can use to keep them focused in training. And I think the first thing that he is going to talk about is just that huge mistake that Mario Rui made. So here's the thing, Mario Rui has a tendency to make these mental errors. It's been part of his career, and he hasn't done it all season. So what I hope is that he did it this one time. He just lost his temper, wasn't really thinking about what that was going to do, and that he uses that to make sure he doesn't do that in the future all season long, to include the Champions League. We don't need anything like that to happen in the Champions League, because it could be detrimental to us getting, exiting that tournament early. So I hope, if there was any given time during the season, that would be a good time for Mario Rui to make a mistake like this is one of the better times because of the role that we're on. We're playing at home the next two games. He's going to miss both Lazio and Atalanta. I just read that in the paper today. So, and I don't even think they're going to try to appeal it. I didn't see anything about that on Napoli's website or
They
anything,
shouldn't.
which I,
Yeah,
I, I agree. I don't think they should. That was really dumb what he did. And I'll be honest, he's a little lucky he only got 2 games, because I was nervous it was gonna be 3 or 4 games for what he did,
yeah,
just
me too.
because it was blatant at what he did. It wasn't like he was trying to
His
do anything
groin
else
area
except.
too. That
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and then one of the other things you talked about, the defense.
Mm.
Kim, he's been on 4 yellow cards for,
Give,
like,
give,
3
give.
years now. He's been
Man.
on I don't I mean,
He
I've
refuses to
been
get it.
worried about him getting that 5th yellow card forever now, and he's not gonna get it, but he did get a yellow card in the Champions League game.
Yeah, I
So,
know. I know. Soft
I
one
mean,
too. Shit.
yeah, it was pretty soft. At this point, it's like, is it worth talking about anymore? Because maybe he'll never get that 5th yellow
Well,
card,
the moment
and
we
we're
stop
up.
talking about it, it'll happen. Watch. So let's not talk about this episode. Watch him get a yellow against Lazio and then miss Atalanta. Watch.
Oh, man, I hope not, I hope not. Well, we need to
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit more then, and then, you know just the overall impressive organization for their defense in general is not getting enough attention. I think we mentioned this
Nope.
already once, but they continue to get clean sheets. Medit continues to perform, and I don't see any like I don't I don't think that we should be waiting for them to make any mistakes that are costly. They
People
are
are
just
so caught
playing
up.
that good.
Yeah, like they're so caught up with like talking about Osimhen and Cavada and just our attacking midfield. But dude, have you seen the goal differential between first and second place, Inter? We have a 43 goal differential. They have a 16 goal differential. That is ridiculous. Like our
Yeah, it's
defense and our
crazy.
attack is top tier. Our whole team is top tier. Our midfield too. Come on. I mean, we you can't look at this team and not say that we are bound for a UCL final. You just can't. Like teams do not want to play us. Like if we keep this form, we are looking scary.
Yeah, I know it. And you know, Victor, you had mentioned it already, and we've talked about it a little bit before. If there's one thing that he can improve in his game, it is his way of not being, clinical enough in front of goal. He could have had over the year, if you were to count up other goals that he really should have scored, if he was more clinical, he would be sitting right around 30 goals, I think, if you count them all up. So I
That's the
don't
thing
want
with
that to be a thing. I don't want that to be a thing in the Champions League. In this game,
yeah, no, I
he
wouldn't worry
should have
about that.
had, like you said, he should have had 2, maybe 3 goals total. I think we're gonna take care of business when we play,
Yeah.
Frankfurt at home, but once we get to that next round, if we face one of the bigger teams, him not executing in front of goal could be costly. So I hope you're right, and I'm confident that he will get better and better as the games go along, including the Champions League game. So I think that I think you're more right than I'm thinking, but we'll see what happens there. Now, you mentioned some of the players' performances and everything, and we already talked about Mario Rui, so I don't even think we need to talk about flop of the match. Sometimes we don't have a reason to talk about it. We do this time, but we know
Yeah.
who that is. Mario Rui, I think he'll learn from it. He'll come
I'm
back
sorry.
after the 2-game suspicion and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oliveira has been playing good. He's been playing a lot, so I'm not really worried about missing him for the next 2 games overall. But I do think that the fact that there's a player that plays in that position that has been one of our regulars will at least be on Spalletti's mind, and he'll have some things to think about in training this week.
Yeah, I feel like this
Now,
is good for Oliveira.
who do you have
This
as your
is
man of the match for this match?
man of the match. Man, personally, I'm gonna go Osimhen, even though he wasn't as clinical, but I mean, he was just all up in their mitt, man. Just causing havoc, causing problems. You could also give it to Cavada. I mean, yeah, he didn't have like a any assists or any like stat padding stats, but he was there all game creating stuff. Just like same with Zielinski, he was there all game too. Kim could have had a goal. His display on defense was top notch. But I'm gonna go Osimhen though.
I'm gonna be honest with you, though, my man of the match, though, I mean, we could say Osimhen every game. We could say Cavani every game, pretty much. We could say Lobotka every game, and we could say Kim every game. And I'm gonna give it to Kim this time. Kim, he just got unlucky not to score that goal, and the way that he got in the crowd and got his head on that ball the way he did, that was an
Yep.
awesome play. He just got unlucky, and he was,
It actually hit his
I mean,
shoulder. It wasn't even his head. If you watch the
it hit his
replay,
shoulder?
yeah, it was
It
his
didn't even
shoulder.
touch his head?
No,
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm still gonna give him man of the match. I think that, there was never a moment throughout the entire match where he made any mistake whatsoever, and he just constantly is always in the position he needs to be in. And yeah, I mean, I think we could do that almost every match, but I'm gonna give it to him for this one.
By the way, did you see Chucky Lozano?
Did I see how he played?
Yeah, another good game in my opinion. Great game
Yeah. Oh,
actually.
yeah.
My
Yeah,
goodness,
he had it. He had a really good first half.
very
Second
good.
half, I think he lost a little bit of the focus and a little bit of the
Yeah, I feel
drive for
like
whatever reason.
Napoli in general had like an amazing first 35 minutes, and then after that, just kind of just slowly just declined. I don't know what was going on, but it's all right.
Yeah. As I went with Eric and Dylan to this game. I think I mentioned that. So we were driving there, and as we were getting closer and closer, we knew that rain was in the forecast. And as we got closer, it looked like we were going to have a lot of rain. And I was a little bit worried about that, just having a bad weather game. But we got lucky. There was no rain whatsoever for the entire
Dope.
match. We walked back to the car, and about 5 minutes before we got in the car, it started raining. I was like, everything is going Napoli's way this season. Everything.
Yeah.
Even the weather. Watch, there's weather in the forecast for this next match that we're going to preview in a minute against Lazio. There's weather in the forecast. Watch it be sunny just because everything's going our way this season.